Hey everybody, welcome to the War Room, and today on TableTop Anarchy we are going to be showing you a quick how to play of a new game coming to Kickstarter called Gremlins Incorporated. It's a great little game. It's become a firm favourite of us with TableTop Anarchy because we like causing mischief and basically stuffing each other over. As a game, it's basically you get some tokens with your prestige points on it. You've got 5 and 1s and basically just a big deck of cards. I say as a game it's the simplest of games really to, there's not any components, and the rule book I think is about 10 pages long, but I will just show you a quick how to play. First of all, I'll start by saying, who are the Gremlins? They're basically a microscopic creature who live inside sort of your clocks, watches, all this stuff, and generally if it stops working it means the Gremlins have moved in. And the whole idea of this game, it's basically half strategy and half malice. It says in the book that it's a game where you're trying to win your side of strategy, you're trying to get to your sort of designated prestige point total, but then in the same respect you're trying to basically stitch your mates up, get them to totally melt down and lose the game, and in turn obviously you winning it. The game itself is for 2 to 6 players, and they recommend when you're first starting out you go up to 10 prestige points, which will be just them there. If you want a bit of a longer game, go to 20 points, and when you're a bit more familiar with the game and you've played it a few times and you've read the cards, go to 30 points because you'll move through it a bit quicker. 4 to 6 people you can play team play, which is great, but if you're playing 4 to 6 people with no teams, they recommend 20 is a good limit, but if you are playing teams they say 30 is also a good limit for the prestige points. Keeping score, obviously covered it a little bit, but your prestige points here, the Gremlins basically to get to the top and to get where they want, they basically need more prestige, and that's how you top the score up. When you start the game, quite simple. You take the deck of cards and you deal 6 cards to every yourself and every opponent, and the game is started by the person who is least malice, which, as soon as you've played one game that will never be a thing because you'll be surprised what you can do to your mates. So you'll deal 6 cards out. There we go, that's your 6 cards. Let's have a look what we've got. So, every card in the game can be used as a resource. You've got your gold resource. Obviously it's got 5 at the top, but it only does count as 1 resource. They are your most common ones, and they can be used as a resource or to play action cards. The red ones are the uncommon ones, and they can be used again for resources in a project and to play an action card. And generally if you're playing an action card and you need malice, it's generally going to create some sort of misery for your friends. And then it leads on to the rare ones, which are your green ones, your industrial ones, and basically these will only ever be used as resource. They'll never be used on an action card unless there is certain cards in the deck which specify that you may have to pay 1 extra industrial to use the action card, but they are in there. But it's it's one of them cards, if it comes out you'll obviously read it and you'll know how you go. The basic the gameplay itself, you get 2 actions when you first start, and they are I think there's about 5 or 6 things you can do generally, but the first one is to start a project. I will show you how to do it. This project here, for instance, is just a normal blueprint, and there are a different one somewhere. I think it's a blueprint permanent, if there's one out. I may have to just find one quickly. Have a quick look. That one there. So that one there. So the first one is a blueprint. These are the only way you can get prestige by completing a project. So basically what you do to play a project is you take that card and you play it face down. You don't show your opposition, only you know what's under there. The next action you can do when it comes to playing a project is you can start a fake project. Now these are the cards here, for instance. They don't say blueprint there, but they've got something there. So you can play these just as a fake project. It confuses your friends, and it's a good way of storing additional resources you don't need underneath the cards themselves. So for another action I'm going to play this one, but I'm going to play it as a fake project. So now I have 2 projects, and you can only have 3 active projects in one go. So it would move around the table now. And for mine, at the end of the go, you draw your hand back up to your original 6. So you've got more cards now. So it's gone all the way around the table and it's back to me. For my next action, I'm going to play a resource card. Now these are obviously across the top, so you've got your 3 different types, and I'm going to play it onto this hand here, this resource, and all I need is 1 gear. So what I will do is I will put 1 gear under there and assign a resource, and then the next thing I'm going to do is I am going to play this one. I'm going to put it under my fake project, but at this point no one knows that's a fake project. I've got 2 projects on the go. So again, it goes round. I've already drawn back up to 6, and then the next thing you can do is you play an action card. Now generally action cards can be ranging from 3, so I could play this one for instance. So I play 1 action card, I assign 1 card to each of my projects. So to play an action card, all you need to do is discard that card, stick it in the side. That's done, and now I can assign 1 card to each of my projects. Now they all vary, so what I will do is I will put this one under there, and then I will put this one under there. Right, so that's that one done. So that's another turn gone. So I will draw now back up to my original 6 cards. But with action cards, they do have some which can go, which need another card to be played. So for this action card to be played, I need to play it with another card of the matching resource. But that resource has to be taken from one of your active projects. It can't be taken out of your hand. So again, to play this one, so I reveal 1 hidden project of any opponent. The owner discards 2 resources from the project, and I get 1 for every pitchfork he thingy. So if I reveal a project over there which has got 4 pitchforks on it, the owner discards 2, so he'd move 2 of his pitchforks across, and because he's discarded 2, I would get 2 top hats. So let's say I've just done that. So now I've got 2 top hats. I put that card, my original action card, and I use this resource to play that card. So that covers action cards. There are another way of doing it. Action cards. Where are we? Yeah, like I said, the action cards you'll never have to use a gear unless specified, which is good because greens, you really want to keep hold of those ones. So it's gone around the table again. I've drawn back up to 6, and for my next action now, I'm going to complete a project. So all you need to do for 1 action, I know I've completed it. All I needed is 1 gear, so I've got the gear there, which is that resource there. So I discard every card under it and the project itself, and I gain 1 prestige for that. So now I'm up to 3 prestige points now. And now for my other action, I'll just put, I'll start another fake project. So I'll draw back up to 6. So that's pretty much most of the actions when it comes to earning prestige. But I've realised I don't like that project because it's not going to get me anywhere. Say for instance I've got 3 projects down and I need to start getting some prestige. So I'll say, right, for 1 action I'm just going to discard all the resources and the cards. Job done. That's the resource. So the card overview, I'll give you a quick run through of the cards. I've done the action cards, but I'll go a little bit more into the blueprints themselves. Now some blueprints, once you've completed them, this one here for instance, you need 1 gear and 1 gold. Once that blueprint is completed, you get 1 prestige point, and then I get to assign 1 card to each of my projects. That card's a normal blueprint, so once it's played, I just discard that card, get the prestige points, and move on. These cards, however, are a little bit more tricky to complete. I need 3 gears and 4 golds, and I get 4 prestige. But because it's a blueprint permanent, if I complete that, I'll move this card to one side, by the side of my table, and that card remains in play until someone either steals it, takes it off you, or gets it to remove it. But every time now this card is in play, each time one of my projects is completed, I draw 1 card and assign it to any of your project. If it's a gear, I get an extra top hat. So not only do I get to assign a project to a resource to my project, if it's a gear, I get an extra top hat. So there's always a chance I can creep up. So basically, that covers the rules on Gremlins. If you want to see this game being played, we have done a gameplay of this game, so you'll get to see us, more people playing it. But I can say that this is definitely a firm favourite of TTA, and if you've got any questions, stick them in the comments below and we will get back to you. But definitely keep an eye out for this game because it's a great game to play with your friends. But I hope you enjoyed that and I hope it helps. So cheers for watching.